In this video, I'll show you how to clean the Colt Diamondback Revolver. The Diamondback is one of Colt's classic double-action revolvers, and because these guns are getting harder to find and more expensive to replace, I keep the cleaning process simple, careful, and practical. We're going to clean the barrel, the cylinder, chambers, extractor star, the frame, and the exterior surfaces without overdoing it and without forcing anything that doesn't need to be forced. The goal is simple: remove fouling, protect the metal, and keep this Colt Diamondback in good working condition for years to come. Before we get started, make sure the revolver is completely empty. Open the cylinder. Check every chamber and keep all ammunition away from your cleaning area. If you're looking for the cleaning equipment I use in these videos, I've got everything listed on my website down in the description below. I don't actually sell the products myself. I simply link to what I believe are the best cleaning supplies at the best prices available at the time. As of the recording of this video, Amazon's been the cheapest and easiest place to get the cleaning equipment, so that's where most of my links go to. But if that changes in the future, I'll be sure to update the links on my website accordingly. There's a screw just below the cylinder and above the trigger guard on the right side of the frame. Unscrew that to release the cylinder. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance this is either your first time cleaning a revolver or at the very least your first time cleaning one in a long time. If you own a Colt Diamondback, you already know you've got a very valuable collector piece sitting in front of you. I probably don't need to tell you that you need to be careful with every move you make on a firearm like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Take your time, be gentle, and avoid scratching or damaging the finish. When cleaning a revolver like this, I strongly recommend using only materials like nylon, bronze, or brass cleaning tools. Never use anything abrasive like steel brushes, steel picks, or harsh scraping tools on a revolver like this. Personally, I stick with bronze or brass equipment because it's effective without being overly aggressive. I'm just being careful not to drop this, and I want to show you a close-up of this screw that comes out. It's actually a screw, a spring, and a detent pin. Right now they're all connected, but if that detent comes out, the spring will come out also, so just be very careful when you remove that. Now that that screw is removed, open the cylinder as you normally would, and carefully remove it without scraping it against the frame. It really doesn't matter which order you clean these parts in. Today I'm just going to start with the cylinder. I'm going to spray it with Hornady One Shot, which is an aerosol CLP. CLP stands for Cleaner, Lubricant, Protectant. You can also use regular CLP to clean this. Now I'm going to attach the .38 caliber bronze bore brush to the cable, and I stay in the habit of pulling it through only in one direction, from breech end to muzzle end. It doesn't matter so much while you're doing the chambers, but when you're cleaning the bore of a firearm, it doesn't make any sense at all to do the push and pull method because you're just pushing dirt out and then pulling it right back in. That's why I stay in the habit of only cleaning in one direction. Go from breech to muzzle, or chamber to muzzle, however you want to remember that. And just a reminder to only use cleaning gear that actually matches. You don't want to use a cleaning brush that has like a step or a ledge once it's connected to the cleaning rod or the cable. The reason is that step or ledge could scratch your firearm as you're trying to clean it. And if you are pushing the brush through in the wrong direction, like if you're going from muzzle to chamber end, it could scratch the crown of the barrel as you're pushing it in. And that could affect accuracy if the damage is bad enough, not to mention resale value. Now I'm going to add a little more CLP and start scrubbing all surfaces, and I'm going to make sure that I use a nylon brush that's specific for gun cleaning. I'm not going to use a brush that has any chance of scratching the finish. I'm just giving a little extra attention to the extractor star or ejector star, depending on which parts diagram you're looking at. I'm also paying attention to anything that shows signs of metal on metal wear, like this part right here. And that came right off. This Hornady One Shot CLP I'm using, some really good stuff. It's kind of expensive, so I don't use it on all my firearms, but I do use it on the higher end ones like this. Be sure to push the ejector rod to expose the other end of it. You want to make sure that's really clean. The smaller end of the nylon brush really comes in handy when trying to clean some of these harder to reach areas. Once the cylinder is completely clean, attach a .38 caliber bore mop to the cable, spray a little CLP on it, and pull it through each chamber. Once you've done that, wipe off any excess CLP, but you don't want to wipe it bone dry. You should leave a light layer of CLP or gun oil all over it. I'm just going to take a look, make sure I didn't miss anything, and that looks pretty good. Time to move on. Now I'll start on the frame. I'm going to spray a little CLP down into the bore, let it soak in for a minute. Attach the bronze bore brush to the cable, and I'm only going to pull it through in one direction, from breech end to muzzle end. There's no specific number of times you need to do this. It really depends on how much you've been shooting. In this case, I'm just going to pull it through a couple of times and move on. Now do the same thing with the bore mop, and you can use the patch holder if you prefer that. Now add CLP to the cleaning brush and start scrubbing all surfaces. And just a reminder to use the small end of the nylon brush to get into the harder to reach spots. Give special attention to the high friction areas, like this area here where the crane moves back and forth within the frame when you're opening your cylinder. Now I'm going to add CLP to a few cotton swabs and go through it in fine detail. I use these angled cotton swabs because they're better for getting into the harder to reach areas. Now for the bore snake, also called a ripcord and probably goes by some other names, just make sure you're using the correct diameter. It should say 38 on the brass weight. Be careful with this area here. These are the bore bristles. You don't want to scratch your frame as you're pulling it through. Just drop the weighted end into the bore, breech end to muzzle end, grab the other end of it, and pull it through. I'm just being very careful to guide these bore bristles in. I'm going to make sure I do not scratch the frame. Once it clears the breech area, just pull it on through. Just do that once or twice and you should be good. It's hard to show this on camera, but that bore is spotless inside. It looks like black shiny glass. It looks as close to perfect as you're going to get. There's not even a speck of dust or lint inside. That's why I use a bore snake every time. Now I'm going to add gun oil to a cotton swab and go through and add a light coat of oil to the entire firearm and a medium coat of lube to anything that shows signs of metal on metal wear. And yes, you can do this with CLP because CLP is cleaner, lubricant, and protectant, but on the nicer firearms like this, I like to go ahead and take the extra step of using a dedicated lubricant like gun oil. Right now I'm just adding a light coat to the extractor rod. I'm just going to make sure to push the rod through so I can get the other end of it and behind the extractor star. Since the crane rotates within the frame, I'm going to make sure to add a medium coat of lube to that part. I'm going to add a drop of gun oil here and there on the frame and a little bit on the cylinder. Then I'm going to use a microfiber rag and just kind of rub it all in. Now carefully reattach the cylinder to the frame, just like that. Close the cylinder just as you normally would. Turn it over with the right side facing up and put the screw back in. If this screw comes apart, you're going to have the detent or detent pin, then the spring will be in the middle, and then the screw will be on the outside. So there's 3 parts in there, but it did not come apart when I took it out this time, so it just looks like that. I do recommend using a bronze screwdriver head. Just in case you have an accident, you have less of a chance of scratching it. Just like the cleaning equipment, I'll have a link to that on my website as well. The screw doesn't need to be super tight, just a little snug. Wipe off any excess CLP or gun oil, and remember just leave a little bit on there as a protective coating. That's about it. Clean your Colt Diamondback after every use regardless of round count. If you're carrying it but not shooting it, just take it out of the holster once every few weeks just to take a look at it, make sure there's no signs of rust or corrosion, and clean as needed. If it's in storage, I'd take it out at least once every 6 months depending on your climate. I do recommend using some sort of dehumidifier inside your safe just to make sure humidity doesn't start to damage it over time. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, and visit skullcrush.com.